Pay attention. Welcome to our new monthly theme of paying attention. I want to thank Lois Phillips and Mary Freemeyer for the past 2 months of display design in the narthex for our table. And now we have Julie Ciccarelli's haiku group has now put a new display out, so please stop by and see how you can pay attention through haiku. Yes, did you want to say? Come on up, come on up. So I just wanted to be sure that you all knew that we were moving on to a new month and that the haiku group is providing for us. Julie, did you want to say something for us?
Good morning. Good morning. Yes. It is pay attention, and I have a little haiku. It says, pay attention to the narthex table, a haiku welcome. The haiku group hopes that you will enjoy our poems. Writing haiku is considered a spiritual practice and one that teaches us the need to pay attention. An image or an idea, often related to nature, catches our fancy, and we work hard to create a haiku. A haiku captures the essence of a minute. And here is a haiku from Susan Auld, who's got one printed in one of the books out here. Still summer air, the wind song of hummingbird wings. Thank you.
Together this morning to remind one another to rest for a moment on the forming edge of our lives, to resist the headlong tumble into the next moment, until we claim for ourselves awareness and gratitude, taking the time to look into one another's faces and see their communion, the reflection of our own eyes. Hello, my name is Mari Van Meter, and my pronouns are she and her. Our church shares a covenant that we make with one another, a promise that helps to remind us why we gather and how we want to be here with one another. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in saying our covenant together. We unite to strengthen the bonds of kinship among all persons, to promote human dignity, and to increase reverence for life's creating, sustaining, and transforming power through worship, study, and service.
Though you have been warned and given plenty of explanations and reasons to do otherwise, you have persisted. You have persisted to claim a life of joy and justice, and to carve out this time, this space, for renewal of your own hearts. Despite all the reasons fighting for your attention, luring you towards fear, you persist in practicing gratitude. Gratitude for this day, for this life that has been given, this chance to begin again. So let us gather that we might offer one another courage and strength and healing and hope. And this promise to persist in kindness and persevere in compassion and prevail in a life that is more for ourselves. Come, let us worship together this morning. My name is Reverend Pam Rumancik. I'm co-minister of this vibrant and really amazing church. I'm a queer, cisgendered woman whose pronouns are she and her, and I'm also someone who is so thrilled that today is the first day of March and I can really start thinking about my garden. Yay! Whatever identities, whatever joys, whatever experiences, whatever burdens you walk in with this day, know that you are welcome here. Now I'm going to invite our young and young at heart, if we have any of you here this morning, to think about our wonder box. Be wondering what might be in the box today. Could be. Hi, Caroline. Good morning. So today we have a story called Swimmy, if any of you have ever heard of the story called Swimmy. So that might be kind of a hint as what could be in the box. Hi, Nora. Hi. Come on and have a seat. Do you guys have any guesses at what could be in the box today? What swims? A turtle swims, yeah. Yes. A what? A shark swims, yes. A fish swims too. Okay. Taylor, would you like to open our box today since it's the first time here? Nope, you don't want to? Okay. Okay, Nora said she'll do it with her. Okay, come on up and open our box and see what might be. Okay, Nora will open our box today. What's in there? It's a fish. How about that? Good guess. You got it. Okay, Reverend Karen is going to come up tell us the story of swimming.
It's a very colorful fish, isn't it? Hey, Reese. So, you can see pictures up here on the screen, too. A happy school of tiny little fish lived in the corner of a sea somewhere. They were all, what color is that? Red or orange? Red! Oh! Only one of them was black as a mussel shell. Do you see the one that's there? Really beautiful? He swam faster than his brothers and sisters, and his name was Swimmy. One day, a tuna fish, very large, came through, fierce and swift and very hungry, and he darted through all the waves, and in one gulp, he swallowed all of the little red fish. Oh no. Swimmy escaped. Why? Because he was fast. He swam away and he went into the deep, deep, wet world. He was scared and he was lonely. He was a little sad. You ever feel sad and lonely? Especially when you're chased away by something? Anybody here feel sad and lonely when they get chased away by something? I'll raise my hand. But the sea was full of wonderful creatures. And he swam from marvel to marvel. He saw a Medusa made of a rainbow jelly. He saw a lobster who walked in the water moving like a machine. You ever seen a lobster move? I know. A strange fish that was pulled by invisible string and thread. A forest of seaweed growing from sugar candy rocks. Oh, it was so beautiful. He saw an eel whose tail was too far away to remember. He saw sea anemones who looked like pink palm trees swaying in the wind. And then, hidden way, way, way in the dark rocks, what do you see there? Yeah, more of the pink fish. He saw a school of fish that looked just like him, except they were red. He said, "Oh, there are so many things to see out there. Let's go." But the fish said, "Oh, we can't. If we go out there, a big fish will eat us." But Swimmy said, "Wait a second. We can't just lie here. We must think of something." So Swimmy and the other fish thought, and they thought, and they thought, and they thought some more. And then suddenly, Swimmy said, "I have it. We're going to swim all together as the biggest fish in the sea. What do you think they did? If we turn the slide, look at that, they're growing and they're making themselves into a fish. He taught the fish to swim together, close together, each in his own place. And then when they had one giant fish, Swimmy went in and he said, I'll be the eye. Oh, and so they swam and swam in the cool morning water in the midday sun, and they chased away all of the big fish. How about that? Now we're going to sing our children out to classes. Thank you so much for paying attention. That was a fun story.
Now, because we all swim together like a big school of fish to support this place, I'm going to invite Leslie to come up and give a testimonial about why she pledges to this congregation.
Good morning. Good morning. I've been asked to talk about why I am a member of this congregation and why I continue to support it financially. Yeah, that wasn't an easy task, given that I've been an active member for 28 years and counting. What I finally realized is that what keeps me here is acceptance and community. And no, I didn't set up the opening song for this speech, but there you go. Acceptance has provided a foundation that has allowed me to discover abilities I didn't know I had, and to express the ones I do have, all while contributing to this community. For example, I would never have thought I could write poetry, yet because of a presentation Susan Auld gave to the Transitions group, I started writing haiku. After I started sending her my poems, deluge would be a good thing to think of here, Susan organized the haiku group. Now, I won't claim a direct causal relationship, but I wonder if she would have started the group if I hadn't asked her for advice and instruction. I don't know. As another example, I have had extensive experience in writing prose, and as a member of the Green Sanctuary Committee, began writing occasional Green News articles and the Wheel of the Year articles. Through the Green News articles, I have had an opportunity to learn more about environmental issues, and the Wheel of the Year articles have pushed me to learn more and to think more deeply about being a pagan. In both cases, I write to explore and learn, to present what I discover to others, and as a result, have created new connections with other members. And that brings me to another reason why I support Countryside. While this is a community that supports individual members in our search for intellectual, spiritual, and personal growth, we also support each other when things go wrong. And they do. I have been gratified to watch this congregation rally to support those of us who have had family, personal, or medical issues, both through lay and care ministry and through ad hoc groupings of members. For all these reasons and more, I will continue to support Countryside through participation and financial contributions.
Giving thanks is an important part of living in a covenantal community. Your financial gifts show gratitude for how our congregation supports us all. We are wildly grateful for you and this support. Without you, our mission to inspire, heal, and belong could not be fulfilled. Your gifts of gratitude will now be gratefully received.
invite you this morning to take a deep breath in, a cleansing breath out, allowing any anxiety you're carrying in your neck, shoulders, back, just to flow down through your body, down, 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 your legs, out your feet to the rich, dark earth below us. We have a blessing for one who is exhausted by John O'Donohue. When the rhythm of the heart becomes hectic, time takes on the strain until it breaks. Then all the unattended stress falls in on the mind like an endless, increasing weight. The light in the mind becomes dim. Things you could take in stride before now become laborsome events of will. Weariness invades your spirit, and gravity begins falling inside you, dragging down every bone. The tide you never valued has gone out, and you are marooned on unsure ground. There's nothing else to do now but rest and patiently learn to receive the self. At first, your thinking will darken, and sadness will take over like listless weather. The flow of unwept tears will frighten you. You have traveled too fast over false ground. Now your soul has come to take you back. Take refuge in your senses. Open up to all the small miracles you rush through. Become inclined to watch the way of rain when it falls slow and free. Imitate the habit of twilight, taking time to open up the well of color. Draw alongside the silence of stone until its calmness claims you. Be excessively gentle with yourself. Gradually return to yourself, having learned a new respect for your heart and all of the joy that dwells far within slow time. Thus ends the reading this morning. This morning, we hold so many joys and concerns that may be weighing upon our spirit. We begin with the horrific news that our country has begun war with Iran, and we hold all of those who will be killed or injured or unhomed or traumatized by the actions of irresponsible politicians in our hearts and minds. We pray for love to flow into our leaders, that they may begin acting from compassion and interconnection. They may understand interdependence instead of using the bodies of soldiers and civilians and children in order to make distractions. We breathe out love for all involved in the wider world. Here, closer to home, we learned the sad news from the Lebed's family has another thing to contend with. Gary's brother Ralph passed away on Friday after an extended illness. We send love and condolences to their whole family as they move through their grief. Jeff Ormland and Kathy Moraist share the sad news that Jeff's brother is now in hospice with ALS. They are very grateful for the time they had with him and appreciate prayers and supportive messages. We hold you in our hearts, Jeff and Kathy. Nancy Frank shared that her beloved Cindy Thornton was hospitalized with a flare-up of an ongoing condition. This in the midst of her mom needing 24-hour support and all the complications that go with managing aging. We send Cindy and Nancy and her mom lots of love. Yvonne Anderson and Tom Gonzalez shared that their youngest, Gabriel, will be undergoing major neurosurgery at Lurie's Children's Hospital on March 3rd. They write, Prayers, healing thoughts, good vibes, etc. are all welcome as we help our giggler navigate the lengthy surgery and being homebound from school for several months afterwards. We hold their whole family in our love. Mari and Ed shared that their beloved dog Holly is doing well after having her leg amputated. Yay, Holly. And finally, thanks to our Harmony homeschooling group who was here at the church during the week, who took on a project of moving 5 full bookcases 6 inches in the library, so now you can open the library door all the way up. We are made so much better by the whole of us. It's the little things that aren't so little, so thank you. Remember, if you are carrying anything, you can always reach out to me or Karen or the office or any member of our lay ministry team. For all those intentions which remain in the secret sanctuary of your heart this morning, know that you are held and you are loved. Please join in singing Spirit of Life.
Our first reading today is Carry That Weight on Mythic Burdens and Cosmic Supports by Josh Rui. There is a weight to modern existence. Perhaps you felt it. In a world in which social and environmental crises only seem to be deepening and our familial, communal, and spiritual support systems are steadily crumbling, individuals are buckling under the weight. This weight is not simply metaphorical. When the web of relationships that traditionally hold human culture together is fractured, then socio-cultural, ecological, and even cosmic burdens are funneled to individuals to carry. We often try to tackle these burdens on our own, but they are far too big for one person to bear. Traditional cultures, by contrast, tend to be constructed around networks of support, not only in their socio-cultural and spiritual systems, but in their understanding of the cosmological and ecological mandala of animate forces, gods and goddesses, and spirit helpers that literally bear the weight. So animate traditions invoke various weight bearers, from turtles to elephants to the great mother goddess herself, who is known as the support of everything that is. Such figures invite us into a deeper vision of support that is not generated or born by us alone, and that require that we rethink the human role in the web of life. In such relational visions, people are not gods. They have responsibilities to the web of life, but they are not responsible for bearing anything and everything. The tendency of the modern individualist mind to put itself at the center of the cosmos and try to bear universal burdens on its own has roots that go back to the creation story that lives at the heart of Western history. A story that imbues individual beings with the greatest burdens of all, the burden of salvation. If we look closely at this unconscious burden, it is still at play everywhere, across the social and political spectrum, in wellness narratives and psychotherapeutic narratives, and even in the stories we tell about how it's our imperative to save the world. Perhaps it's time to unpack this deeply rooted burden and regrow it as something else. Thus ends the reading.
Friends, we're up against some difficult things. We may disagree about what the biggest problems are, what the best solutions are, but I think almost everybody agrees that as communities, as cities, as states, as nations, as the world, we've got some problems that need addressing. So it makes sense to ask, what works? How do you actually address large-scale problems effectively? I think our culture has an answer for that question, and I think that answer is everywhere. And here's the answer. What you need if you've got a really big problem is somebody really special, somebody extraordinary, somebody extra smart, extra brave, extra strong, extra wise, to come and do something dramatic in a moment of crisis, and then the problem is fixed and we roll the credits. I know it sounds cartoonish when I lay it out that way, but if we went out and got in our cars and drove to the nearest multiplex movie theater, how many of those 15 movies would have that plot? And I'm not just talking about the superhero movies, I'm talking about the dramas and the comedies and the romances and the horror films and the children's entertainment. But here's where it gets sticky. I'm also talking about the documentaries. This is how politics is presented. This is how religion is often conveyed and understood, and it's not an unusual plot line even in a history class. Here's the crazy thing. I've been working on this for over 20 years, and I have yet to find one single example of this actually happening in the whole history of the world. Not one. Where some extraordinary person came and did something dramatic in a moment of crisis and effectively addressed a large-scale problem by themselves. It has simply never happened. Fortunately, there's another narrative. It's a lot less popular, but it has the added benefit of being true. That's called the movement narrative, and it says if you want to address a large-scale problem effectively, what you need is a lot of people to move in the same direction and do a little bit each. And I contend that that is always how change has happened. But this hero narrative is so powerful in our culture.
Worlds Collide from Christopher Colfer. No one ever told her it was okay to make mistakes. No one told her there was nothing wrong with needing help. No one told her that it was normal to feel upset or angry or overwhelmed now and then. Everyone in her life took her perfection for granted and didn't realize how suffocating it was. And because no one gave the young woman permission to be human, she thought she was a failure for being one. Thus ends the reading.
Anybody feel that? Feel a failure for just being human? Life seems an awful lot lately, like it's a lot to carry. Maybe some of you are feeling just okay. Maybe you're retired and comfortable and can shut the door and turn off the screens and let it all go. And if that's true for you, wonderful. I hope so. But even if that is the case, I invite you to think about a neighbor or your children or other family members or other folks in the sanctuary right now. Because we're going to talk about burdens today. And we're going to wonder why we feel so monumentally burdened. And then I'm going to invite you maybe to just lay down a little bit of that burden. I really enjoyed David Lamotte. That's just the very beginning. I'll give the links to Lori so she can print them in the newsletter. He actually wrote the story that we used a couple weeks ago called White Flower. And he's also the person that came up with the Let's Be Neighbors program, which I didn't know any of this when I went into each of those things, and it wasn't until I watched this and it had the credits underneath that I realized this is the same guy who's been doing all these things. But he contends that we tell hero stories all the time, so much so that we don't even recognize them. And as he said, they're not true. And not only are they not true, telling those hero stories doesn't serve us at all. In his TEDx talk, he tells the story of Rosa Parks. And I think everybody here knows the story of Rosa Parks, right? Rosa got tired, she sat down on the bus and refused to give up her seat for a white person. And because of this action, she triggered the 1955 to 56 Montgomery bus boycott and ended discrimination on busings in Montgomery. That's the story we all know, right? But there's so many more details to that story that don't get told. Here's the Cliff Notes version. Rosa Parks had been part of the NAACP for over 20 years, and not just a passive person. She had worked under chapter president E.D. Nixon, who you may have heard of, on voter registration and civil rights cases. She was a trained secretary and a member of the Women Political Council for 20 years, which was led under Joanne Robinson. She helped to organize, plan, and sustain the 381-day protest, which was managed by the newly formed Montgomery Improvement Association. When she got arrested, people on that bus went out into the world and they started calling people. And they started calling and calling and calling, and within a few hours, Joanne Robinson, who was the head of the WPC, had organized people to go to a school where they started printing out leaflets. All night long, they cranked those, what were they called, the things that made the blue copiers, mimeograph machines. They created 17,000 leaflets overnight, and and then they called all their friends, and people who had been designated ahead of cat time drove those leaflets and covered the whole city. Just one evening. Rosa Parks did not do that. This happened because all of this had been being planned already, because the WPC had already written to the bus company and demanded that they start treating them more fairly. They had already put a list of boycott plans out there and asking for better conditions. And while Parks was famously tired of giving in, her arrest was recognized by local activists that this was the ideal, respectable case that they could present to the wider world and people would be really upset about. And following her arrest, Rosa Parks didn't just sit back. She continued working with all of these groups of people that she'd been working with for 20 years. And they formed the Montgomery Improvement Association, and they elected Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as president. Parks continued to act as a dispatcher for the complex church-supported carpool system that sustained the boycott for over a year. This was not one person who said, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to change the world. This was a lot of people planning and working and acting together who made a big change, thoughtfully. As much as we love to make Rosa Parks the hero, she would never said it was all on her. And just like it wasn't all on her, it's not on each one of us either. We are all cogs in a much greater whole. And when we think all of that is resting on our shoulders, that's when life becomes unbearable. When we think we have to do it all, that's when we feel so burdened. Our first reading today was from Josh Schrei and the Emerald. And now he was talking about how much weight there is on people. And I'm going to let you know that podcast is 2 hours long, and that link will also be in the thing. But I'm going to invite Luis to play another little piece of that podcast that you can listen to.
Then, all of a sudden, it's all on you. The promise of humanism is that we can free ourselves from the cosmic and societal and familial burdens that have held us down for generations. The burden of humanism is that once you sever ties with the relational web of creation, all of it is on you. And not only is it all on you, you didn't even fully let go of the 1.0 burdens to begin with. So now you're shouldering both. What do I mean? I mean, the weight of societal expectation is still as strong as ever. We've got just as much expectation, if not more, and exponentially less support. So now, in addition to the burden of fulfilling what mom and dad and society expect of us, and the burden of whatever you do at all costs, do not ever be a failure. Do not ever pause in your constant striving for success. Fail fast and fail forward, says the Female Quotient, a site supposedly dedicated to women's empowerment. In addition to the burden of having to make it in an economy that is not really designed for you to be able to make it, in addition to the weight of fiscal responsibility and that desk drawer full of unpaid bills and reminders, in addition to the burden of not just having a job but loving that job, that requirement that you climb the career ladder, and not just climb it but look really good climbing it along the way, like the burden to be a skinny green juice Pilates mom or an optimized tech bro who's ripped at 50, in addition to the burden of finding a husband or a wife who is not just simply an adequate partner but has to be your soulmate, your one true love, your twin flame, who must be the perfect complementary match for you in all ways, in addition to the burden of living exactly the right life and being psychologically sound and trauma-free and holding all the right views, the liberal burden of supporting all the right causes and keeping up with the vernacular and never seeming out of touch or tired or over it all, and don't slip up once or you might be outed on YouTube. In addition to all that, you've got to figure out the meaning of existence. All on your own. I mean, do you see the predicament that modernity puts individuals in?
Feels real to me. Yeah. We have freed ourselves from societal structures and tell the story of just being free. But we don't notice all of the support that we've lost from those interconnections. I mean, I bought it hook, line, and sinker. I moved my family out to Colorado from Ohio to try to make life better when my kids were small. But you know, we only ended up staying 4 years because while it was beautiful out there and some things were much better, I missed my family and my friends and those people that could help me get by when life got tough. In some ways, the damage was already done because now my children had this idea of this big world. So now 2 of them live on the West Coast and 1 of them lives in Chicago. She just moved back to Chicago. But none of them are right up the street where I can pop over and say hi. You know, none of them are within that kind of community that people used to have. We carry so much in the modern world. And with the advent of the internet and satellite communications, it's made the world seem small, right? We can look up on TV any day and see what's going on in any other part of the world. Right now we're watching a war go on the other side of the world, and we can feel responsible for all of it. We can feel like we not only have to care about our family and our friends and our neighbors, but about every conflict, every injustice, every oppression across this broad, broad planet. And you know what? This isn't only impossible for us. It was impossible for the original goddess of compassion. Bear with me. Her name is Avalokiteshvara. 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 I know, if I said it a couple times, it would come out again. Try saying that 3 times fast. Avalokiteshvara was the original name of the goddess of compassion, who now we know more as Kuan Yin. And Kuan Yin was one of those deities which began as male in one country and as it spread across many countries became female. So transgender is nothing world in the deity world. But as the story goes, Avalokiteshvara became a bodhisattva, which is a Buddhist saint, and they took the vow of compassion that sentient beings are numberless, I vow to save them all. And then because they were so filled with compassion, they also vowed, should I ever become disheartened in saving sentient beings, may my body shatter in 1,000 pieces. Now, in an article titled How Avalokiteshvara Attained Her 1,000 Arms on the BuddhaNet, they write, one day, while helping beings in a higher realm, he looked down into the hells which he had emptied through the teachings of the Dharma and realized to his dismay that countless beings were still flooding into them. In a moment of exasperation, he became so disheartened, so true to his vow that his body shattered in great agitation and despair. Despite this, he did not give up. His consciousness beseeched the Buddhas for help, and Amitabha Buddha became his guru. And with the Buddha's miraculous powers, he attained a new form, one that had 1,000 helping hands of compassion with eyes of wisdom in each palm. And with this, he renewed his vow to saving all sentient beings. End quote. Even a divine being got so overwhelmed by the challenges and struggles of being human that they exploded. It's amazing any of us are here at all. Because individuals are not meant to bear the burden of all human suffering. Not individual saints, and especially not individual human beings. And when we realize the weight we're living under, any one of us can shatter, can disintegrate, can cry, "Uncle, I give up, I can't do it." I've experienced that in my life. It was not good. But if we're lucky, and if we pay attention and we keep our eyes open, we might trade a little bit of our independence for our interdependence. Shrey continues, what has 1,000 hands and 11 heads and a multitude of blazing eyes? A community, a village, a forest. This is how the burdens get born, by ecologies, by relational webs, by river networks and spines of mountain ranges, by entire communities rather than by solitary beings. What saves us from the burden of the world is remembering that we are not alone, remembering that none of us needs to be the hero of this story or even the hero of our own stories, that working together is what gives us what we most need. Now, if you came in here today carrying something that you'd like to set down, we're going to have just a small ritual. And I invite you to release one thing. It can be a tiny thing, it can be a ginormous thing, but one thing that you, when you kind of look through all of your carrying, that you're willing to let go this morning. I'm going to invite you just to take a few minutes to think about it, and then come on up and think about what you can let go of this morning. And Mari and I will come up and begin. when we're going and going and going and caring and caring and caring, we can become disconnected from our bodies. We can be living out there, what's coming next, instead of remembering to settle back and see what's going on right here. So I'm going to invite you to settle into your body right now and to breathe out whatever you let go. Settle into a place of peace, breathing in and breathing out. And then I have a mantra for you to say after me 3 times. First say, I have arrived, breathe in. I am home, breathe out. I have arrived. I am home. I have arrived. I am home. I have arrived. I am home. Next, the earth's body, the earth's energy flows through me. I ground myself in her. Earth's energy flows through me. I ground myself in her. Earth's energy flows through me. I ground myself in her. Earth's energy flows through me. I ground myself in her. And finally, to remind ourselves that we are never alone, ancestral spirits surround me. I am safe. 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 Each of us belongs to a much wider reality than we even know. We exist with, because of, and for other beings. And while it sometimes feels that we have to be the ones to save the world, it has never been possible. We cannot, on our own, save or heal the whole world. It can't be on our shoulders. But you know what we can do? We can change the world around us. In fact, we can't not change the world around us because we are interdependent. We are connected to the people around us. Our actions have consequences for the people we know, in our neighborhoods, in our gardens, in our homes, in our church. David Lamott ended his TED Talk by saying he had terrible news. He asked, "Do you know what changes the world?" And his answer was, committees. Terrible news. Small groups of folks who live through the boredom, the frustration, the ongoing irritations of other people, and who gradually do make the world around them a little better place. You know what else heals the world? Is healing our own internal traumas and pains. Because when we can do that, then we can bring a calm, non-anxious presence to the people around us. And when you bring that to the people around you, you lower the temperature everywhere. And you offer respite and peace. The world needs respite and peace. But the best thing that you can do for the world and yourselves is to putting down those impossible burdens and living our very best lives in this moment. Because you know what? Living well is contagious. When you see somebody else living well, being engaged, being connected, but not responsible and overwhelmed for the whole world, you think, oh, I can do that too. I can do that too. So if each one of you, each one of us goes out and tries to live our best selves, tries to find our joy, our connection to the earth, allow the energy and power of the earth to flow through us and recharge us in every moment, we remember that we are home, we are safe, and we belong. And that is a tremendous gift. Amen, and blessed be.
Pay attention to the trees. Pay
If there is a goddess named Salvation, then I think she likes the space between two halves of a loaf of bread, broken in friendship. She likes the space between you and I. She likes it when we sit down at a table with no agendas or no preconceptions. She likes places of healing and rest and genuine embrace. May each of us find our own salvation in just such places. Go in peace.
Please join me in saying our closing words together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of its truth, the warmth of this community, nor the fire of our commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world.